how everything can change in a matter of days. It was all good just a week ago. We beat up on the Chicago Sky a few days ago. 35-point victory. Caitlin Clark triple-double. Indiana Fever riding high. Indiana Fever fans riding high. Caitlin Clark supporters riding high. And then, of course, the dweebs do what the dweebs do. They make up nonsense. They make up lies. And the WNBA validate the lies. The WNBA validates the nonsense. The WNBA validates non-truth.
What if I told you the Indiana Fever aren't just playing basketball? They're at war with the WNBA itself. For weeks, rumors have swirled, but now sources are claiming the Fever are threatening a full-blown league boycott over what they're calling outright lies. We're not talking locker room gossip here. We're talking about serious, unconfirmed accusations that could tear the league apart. Is this a desperate power play, or are we about to witness the biggest scandal in WNBA history? Get ready, because what's happening behind the scenes is far messier than you think.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This dump, this turd of turds known as the WNBA, this damn league can't get the hell out of their own way. They don't get it. They just don't get it. The diva of Dump Divas, Kat Engelbert, she does not understand how fragile this fan base is. And by fragile, I'm referring to their level of loyalty to pretend basketball, which in this case doesn't exist.
Look, the WNBA drama, it's officially hotter than your last breakup. Thanks to the absolute phenomenon that is Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever are no longer just a team. They are the undisputed main event. They're the league's golden ticket, the ultimate crowd magnet, and frankly, the reason anyone outside hardcore fans is even tuning in. We're talking soaring ticket prices, packed to the rafters arenas, and literally millions of new eyeballs on the WNBA. The Fever are injecting an energy, an excitement, a pulse the league has been desperately craving. Clark isn't just breaking records, she's breaking down doors, dragging the entire league into the spotlight.
You would think the number one thing you'd be talking about after that game, after that amazing performance from Caitlin Clark, the triple-double, the amazing passes, the crazy shots, you'd think we would be talking about basketball. The number one thing you think we'd be investigating is how nobody else in the WNBA has ever done anything like Caitlin Clark is doing. We should be investigating the fact that Caitlin Clark's 4 threes in that game were more exciting than, like, if you go to 2022 and check out the top 10 plays of the WNBA season, her 4 threes in that game were more exciting than those 10 plays. Literally. Like, what she does in one game is single-handedly more exciting than anything we've ever seen in the WNBA. That's what we should.
But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Despite the Fever's undeniable, record-smashing success, the league itself and its so-called loyal fans are pointing fingers, blaming them. Blaming the team that's single-handedly saving the WNBA. Why? Because Fever fans are showing too much passionate support? Or because Caitlin Clark made a tough, clean play on Angel Reese? It's like the WNBA is actively trying to silence the very momentum that's keeping it alive, unfairly targeting its brightest star. Seriously, if you've been glued to WNBA Twitter lately, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
This is what started all of this.
It's a flagrant, and then Chicago will maintain the basketball. Reese misses.
Okay, that was it. That noise you heard right there that sounds a little bit like a dolphin was actually a YouTuber called Flight Reacts. A laugh. All right, a laugh that, it's my understanding, actually gets played during NBA games too. That's what it's all about, because they tried to say that sounded like a monkey.
Let's rewind and watch this play out like the reality TV show it's become. Remember that infamous moment? Angel Reese, known for her flair for drama, gives a full back of the head nudge to a Fever player. A blatant, I'm here to play rough, move, obvious aggression, right? But then Caitlin Clark responds with a textbook, absolutely fair and clean foul, entirely within the rules of the game. And what happens? The league, the media, certain fans, they flip the script. The Fever are suddenly the villains. Conspiracy theories about racism in the stands pop up like weeds. And Angel Reese, she's instantly painted as the untouchable hero, the martyr. The initial aggression is completely ignored, dismissed. It's a narrative masterpiece designed to skew reality away from fair play and towards, well, something else entirely.
National television, it's been the most polarizing conversation in all of sports over the last 24 hours rather. Angel Reese, many would suggest that she overreacted, but Slick, do you have an issue with Angel Reese's reaction to Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul?
Yes, and I have an issue with the way she reacted. I have an issue with the way it's being handled by her, by the Chicago Sky, everybody involved.
Ironically, Fever fans are the only ones consistently filling seats, buying jerseys, and selling out arenas, essentially supporting the league's paycheck.
They're just sitting there, stuck in the grumpy audience as their ratings are completely overshadowed by one star and her dedicated fan base. It's a stark, painful contrast. The fans fueling the league's success, while others seem more obsessed with manufactured drama than
I'm just really thankful. They continued to show up for us, and they make a lot of noise. Like, they're into it. They're not just sitting there. Like, they're invested in this basketball. It's great for our league. It's great for every team that gets to come and play here. I think we've had a lot of great battles, and they've helped us win a lot of games on this floor. So, like I said, hopefully we can bring the playoffs back here and give them a taste of it because they deserve it. It's been since 2016. So, it's only going to get better and better from here on out.
You can practically hear the murmurs. Oh, we want Caitlin to thrive, but not at the expense of Fever fans. In other words, we want to grow, but only if it fits our pre-approved narrative of victimhood and stage drama. It's honestly bizarre. It's like the WNBA has collectively decided the best way to boost its profile is to sabotage the very team that's keeping the league afloat. Instead of embracing genuine competition and explosive fan support, they're choosing conflict. Conflict that distracts from the sport's true potential.
Not a flagrant foul on Caitlin Clark. Listen, I was at the game. If there was somebody being racist or saying shit, obviously boot him, never let him back. I would be stunned beyond belief if that was the case. This crowd, I've sat on the wood for a million games, been in a million environments. The crowd at the Fever game, little girls, families, ladies, nice crowd. You even though it's 100% false, by acknowledging we don't condone hate and not seeing that this was a internet rumor, complete bullshit, you're lending credence to this. There was none of that. It was a great crowd, a positive crowd. Yeah, Angel Reese deserved to get her ass booed when she attacked Caitlin on a normal foul. Other than that.
And here's the bombshell truth. The same fans accused of racism are the very ones who showed up in record numbers to support their team. So, what is really happening? Is it about racism, or is it rooted in something far more insidious? Jealousy, a desperate desire for control, and a bitter rivalry fueled by Caitlin Clark's rapid, undeniable rise to superstardom. If you want drama, Caitlin Clark has become the league's most polarizing figure since anyone. Angel Reese, whether you love her or hate her, is clearly positioned as the league's preferred antagonist, and the Fever fans, they're being scapegoated for every single ounce of tension that surfaces. But let's be crystal clear, without Caitlin Clark and the Fever, the WNBA might still be struggling to fill half-empty gyms, handing out free tickets, and playing to awkward silence. Now, the league is thriving, arenas are packed, interest is ignited, yet those who should be celebrating are trying to shut down the celebration. The league is hesitating, but the Fever, they continue to excel, both on the court and in the hearts of fans. Because in the end, no amount of petty drama can overshadow the true game. Basketball that sells out arenas, moves jerseys, and makes the sport impossible to ignore. Let the Fever play, let Caitlin shine. Perhaps, just perhaps, the league will finally realize that growth can be messy, but it is always worth it.
The Fever said they wanted to hone their defensive skills last season. In the offseason, Stephanie White made it a point to drill that idea home. I mean, Caitlin Clark talked about upping her defense, and in the offseason, they picked up a lot of key defenders. They picked up Natasha Howard, who is the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year, and last season, the Connecticut Sun came in first in their defensive rating. So what did the Fever do? They took Stephanie White, they took Keith Porter, they brought in Dewana Bonner, and they said, we're doing this.
Let's pull back the curtain on this WNBA drama, which honestly has more twists than a pretzel factory. The Indiana Fever are at the epicenter, reigniting the league's spark after years of flickering like a weak phone signal. They've got Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation who's not just breaking records, she's utterly smashing expectations at lightning speed. Fans are flooding in, arenas are packed, ticket prices are soaring like rocket science, and merchandise sales are hitting insane highs. It's every marketer's dream come true. But here's the insane twist. Instead of a collective cheer of yes, let's ride this wave, from the league and other fans, the narrative has completely flipped. The Fever and their supporters are suddenly cast as villains, accused of being too loud, too proud, and somehow too much. The kind of too much that threatens the carefully curated story the rest of the league wants to tell. It's like the WNBA's own version of You Can't Sit With Us, but with basketball jerseys and some questionable officiating on who deserves court time. Instead of embracing this surge in interest, the league seems more focused on silencing the very team and players bringing unprecedented energy and excitement to the sport.
Today, the WNBA is investigating alleged racial comments that were directed at WNBA player Angel Reese by fans yesterday at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Actually, that game was on Sunday. The Players Union says it supports, on Saturday rather. The Players Union says it supports the investigation and condemns all forms of hate and discrimination.
So what's really behind all this chaos? It all blew up after that infamous play, the one that sent social media into a frenzy and sparked what looked like a full-blown PR crisis for the WNBA. Angel Reese, often called the league's drama queen and the ultimate embodiment of attitude, got tangled up with Caitlin Clark in a moment that's pretty standard in basketball. Contact, hustle, maybe a little roughhousing, but somehow what should have been a simple in-game scuffle morphed into a national controversy, complete with accusations of racism, unsportsmanlike conduct, and even calls to oust the Fever from the league. Let's break it down. The incident started when Angel Reese shoved a Fever player, a clear aggressive move, a cheap shot if you will, zero disciplinary action, zero headlines criticizing her. Yet, when Caitlin Clark responds with a solid textbook legal tackle, suddenly the narrative flips. The Fever fans are branded racists. The league stirs up concerns about fan behavior, and media outlets jump into a frenzy, turning the story into a spectacle. It's almost as if someone accidentally switched the sports channel with a daytime talk show, transforming a routine basketball moment into a national soap opera. It highlights how quickly the conversation shifts from basketball to identity politics, completely overshadowing the game itself.
People just aren't used to the heated intensity of a great rivalry. But in the NBA, we had MJ and the Pistons, we had Bird and Magic. We're kind of used to it. As Caitlin Clark in Indiana hammered the Chicago Sky, it was like 4.5 minutes left in the third, there was a foul. It should not have been upgraded to a flagrant foul. It was a foul. And I really think if you truly respect women's basketball, let them play. Sort of like guys. Rivalries equal ratings. Sports is better with intensity. Animosity is part of it. This is okay. Who cares if Angel Reese doesn't like Caitlin Clark? It's not soccer.
But here's where things get even more complicated. The Fever aren't just the new team on the block. They're the reason arenas are packed and buzzing with excitement once again. Meanwhile, other teams and their fans seem subdued, almost like they're watching from the sidelines. You have to wonder, why the sudden focus on issues with Fever fans when they're the ones showing up in droves? It's like blaming the loudest, most passionate partygoers for making the event fun. Other teams' fans remain quiet, their seats empty, their merchandise untouched. And let's not overlook Caitlin Clark's impact on the sport. She's not just a talented rookie, she's reshaping the narrative, entering a league where veterans were expected to dominate. She's instead grabbing the spotlight, rewriting the story, and making sure everyone knows she's here to stay. Clark is selling out arenas, smashing viewership records, and generating buzz that's impossible to ignore. Yet, instead of celebrating her rise, she and the Fever face resistance, driven by what feels like jealousy, territorialism, and a touch of bitterness. It's as if the league has forgotten that competition should push the sport forward, not hold it hostage with petty grudges and unnecessary drama. Instead of embracing this new energy, some are actively trying to suppress the very team and player fueling the league's renewed excitement.
Had Angel or anyone else done the exact same type of a foul to Caitlin, the storyline is different. I don't have an issue with the foul. I thought it was a hard foul. I was always taught you don't give up an easy basket, and that's what I thought Caitlin did. My thing with that was stand in it.
Stand on business.
Yeah.
I got no issue with none of it. It's just basketball soft as hell right now on both sides of it. There ain't no damn flagrant foul.
Hear your perspective on the flagrant foul. What was the point you were trying to make to her?
It's just a good take foul, you know. If you either wide open 2 points or send them to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a good take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
Then there's the relentless media circus surrounding the league. Every time the Fever take the court, the focus shifts from game on to who's going to spark the next controversy. It's almost as if the league has become less about basketball and more about who can craft the most sensational shade while maintaining a picture-perfect Instagram feed. Angel Reese, with her flair for dramatics and bold personality, is elevated, receiving the spotlight and media attention. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark and the Fever are cast as the villains, stereotypical antagonists in a storyline that's so predictable it borders on cliche. And the fans, the core supporters who are investing their hard-earned money to fill seats, buy jerseys, and boost the league's profile, find themselves caught in the crossfire. Suddenly, supporting the Fever is seen as the problem, and cheering for other teams is just being a regular fan. The double standard is glaring. It's as if fans are only allowed to root quietly, politely, and without making a mark. Ironically, this attitude seems to undermine the league's own growth. The Fever and Caitlin Clark exemplify how the WNBA can expand its reach, attract new audiences, and compete with other major sports for attention and respect. Yet, instead of embracing this potential, some in the league appear intent on maintaining the status quo, clinging to outdated narratives, internal politics, and petty rivalries that ultimately hinder its progress. The league's resistance to change could be its biggest obstacle to future success.
Of this audience, they have no loyalty to the WNBA. Their loyalty lies with Caitlin Clark, and that loyalty, it is not guaranteed to extend to the rest of this putrid league. No one is loyal to the dump. No one cares about the W.
Look at the bigger picture here. The Fever are bringing in fresh eyes, new energy, and a revitalized sound that the league desperately needs. Ticket sales are soaring, merchandise is flying off the shelves, and social media buzz is at an all-time high. Yet the media narrative remains fixated on conflict, controversy, and who started it, because apparently, stories about growth and excitement aren't as attention-grabbing as drama and division. This skewed focus underscores larger conversations about sports culture, fandom, and the quest for legitimacy. The WNBA is vying for its place in a crowded sports landscape, and players like Caitlin Clark are pivotal to its rising visibility. Instead of being celebrated as trailblazers, they often find themselves in the crosshairs of jealousy and outdated gatekeeping. Meanwhile, Angel Reese and her supporters are seemingly shielded, as if they hold the keys to the league's future, despite questionable on-court antics and behavior that might not be tolerated in other leagues. The double standard is glaring and sends a troubling message. Talent and dedication alone might not be enough if you don't align with the league's preferred narrative. This bias not only stifles progress, but risks undermining the league's credibility and growth potential.
And just feel the energy from the crowd, like they're also just itching for it, and that's not why you play, but I feel like that's the part of the game I take a lot of pride in. I want to be able to do a lot of different things for this team, and honestly, when I think I get the ball off of a missed shot, off the rebound, like I think it's other teams have a really hard time stopping us in transition, and I can just pitch it up to my teammates to fight.
Fans of the Fever, who have shown steadfast support, are being unfairly vilified for their passion and loyalty. The media often ignores the positive contributions the Fever are making to the league, instead fixating on manufactured conflicts and sensational stories. This is a classic case of blaming the messengers, those who champion the team and the sport, rather than addressing the real issues. Moreover, this isn't just about basketball. It's about identity, allegiance, and the underlying power dynamics within women's sports. Who gets to be the face of the league? Who is pushed to the background? The Fever and Caitlin Clark symbolize change, progress, and a new era. Angel Reese and her supporters, whether intentionally or not, embody tradition and control. As this drama unfolds, we, the fans, are left questioning which side will ultimately prevail, the old guard or the emerging new wave. The real casualties in this battle, the fans and the sport itself. All the infighting, controversy, and media spin divert attention from what truly matters. Exceptional basketball, emerging stars, and a league poised for greatness. Ultimately, the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark represent more than just a team and a player. They embody a movement, a potential revolution in women's sports. No amount of petty disputes or political games can diminish the significance of that spark of change.
I need one word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Dog.
Slayful.
Generational.
Generational. Dominant. Passionate. Amazing. Powerful.
Historical.
Legendary.
Ready.
Explosive. Badass.
Indiana.
Awesome. Amazing.
Amazing. Extraordinary.
And we now have a statement from Mel Raines, who is the head of PSNE, saying, quote, "We are aware of the allegations of inappropriate fan conduct, and we are working closely with the WNBA to complete their investigation. We stand firm in our commitment to provide a safe environment for all WNBA players."
So let the Fever play, let Caitlin dominate, let the fans cheer loudly and proudly. The future of the WNBA depends on embracing this energy, not trying to suppress it. If the league wants to grow, it must choose whether it's supporting progress or clinging to the status quo. Right now, the Fever and their supporters are doing the heavy lifting, both on the court and in the stands. The real question is, will the WNBA recognize this opportunity before it's too late? Only time will tell, but while some try to extinguish the Fever's flame, they're only fueling the fire. Watch closely, because Caitlin Clark and Indiana are transforming the game, and this momentum isn't slowing down anytime soon. The WNBA just became much more exciting. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the biggest stories in sports. Let me know in the comments, is this about basketball or something else entirely? Drop a yo if you think the league needs to get its priorities straight. More videos are on screen now. Click one and keep watching.